Myself Padmaja, Associate Professor, Department of CSE, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Now, let us discuss today a number of problems related to switch case statement in C language. Now, before going for problem solving, let us understand what do you mean by a switch case statement in C language. Now, a switch case statement is working as a substitute for long if-else if ladder, or you can say that a switch case statement is a substitute for multi-way selection statement. Now, a multi-way selection statement we can write using a number of if-else if conditions. So, if you want to avoid a number of if-else if conditions, you can write in a better way using switch case statement. Now, in a switch case statement, one expression will be tested against a number of test cases or called case labels. Now, when one of the cases or case labels are matching, then that particular statement or a group of statements which is written under that case label will be executed. And it is a very good statement for writing multiple conditions. There is no restriction in switch case statement that how many case labels you have to write. If sometimes the value of the expression do not match with any of the case labels, in that case you can write a default statement and that default statement will be executed. But writing a default statement in switch case is not mandatory, but it is optional. So let us first see what is the syntax of switch case statement and how to do programming with switch case statement. Now, to write a switch case statement, we have to use the keyword switch followed by an expression. First, you have to evaluate that expression. The value of that expression you have to match with the case labels. So, the case labels must be of type integer or character. Now, case with value 1. So, the value which you have got from this expression will be matched with this value 1. If both match, then the number of statements in that case label will be executed. And then, if you want to come out of the switch case, please write down a break statement. If you do not write a break statement, automatically it will try to match the case label 2 and it will execute the statement under the second case. Now, if the first case label is not matching, then it will try to match with the second case label and then it will execute the statement. Similarly, if first and second are not matching, then it will try to match with the third case label and so on. So, like this, you can write n number of case labels. If none of the case labels are matching with the value of the expression, then whatever the default statement you have written, that will be executed. And usually, the default statements are written at the end of the switch case, and for the default statement, break statement is not required because after the default statement, the control automatically comes out of the switch case statement. Now, let us look at the flow diagram or flow chart. You have written a switch with a particular conditional statement or an expression. That expression will be evaluated and it will try to match with the case label 1. Okay, for example, any of the label you have, whatever you have given. So, if it is true, then the statements will be executed which is there under case 1 and then it will come out of the switch case because break is executed. If it is false, then it will try to match with case 2. If it is true, then the statements under case 2 will be executed, then it will come out. In the similar manner, it will go on checking multiple conditions. You can write n number of conditions in a switch case. If none of the cases are matching, then the default statement will be executed and then the control will come out of the switch case. Now, let us understand certain important points regarding switch case statement. First thing is, the expression that you are writing in a switch case statement must have an integral type or an enumerated type. And second, you can have any number of case statements within a switch. There is no particular limit in C language. Third is the constant expression that you are writing for a particular case, that we call it as case label, which must be a constant expression. So, that must be of the same data type as the variable in the switch. That means whatever the expression, suppose the expression results in an integer, then you have to write an integer case label. If the expression results in a character, then you have to write a character case label like that. So, it must be a constant or a literal. Third thing is, when the variable being switched is equal to a case, then the statements which are following that case will be executed until a break statement is reached. Okay. So if there is no break statement, then automatically it will execute the next set of statements which is there in the next case level. So writing a break statement at appropriate place is important in switch case. Now, when a break statement is reached, then the switch case terminates and the flow of control jumps to the next line following the switch case statement. Next is, not every case needs to contain a break. Okay. Now, if no break appears, break statement is not mandatory. Again, it is optional. But if no break appears, then the flow of control will fall through a subsequent cases until it finds a break statement. So that is the reason. So what output you want in your program, based on that, you have to use a break statement in the switch case. Now, a switch case statement can have an optional default case. Now, it is not compulsory, but it is optional. That means the default case can be used for performing a task when none of the cases are true and no break is needed in the default statement. So, these are some of the rules regarding switch case. Now, let us switch over to our dep C++ compiler and execute a number of programs regarding switch case. So, we'll run some programs regarding finding the output of the code. So, find the output of the following code. Now, hash include stdio.h int main and return 0. So, we have written the structure of the same C program. After that, let us declare a variable int I is equal to 3. Now, let us switch on the variable I. You can write a variable or you can write an expression in the switch case. So, here I am using a simple variable, that is I. And default should be written, means it is not mandatory to write. If you are writing, you can write at the end, but you can write anywhere in the switch case also. Suppose I am writing default at the beginning and I am writing a printf statement to print 2. Okay. Next I am writing my case labels, case 1, printf, and it is 3. Then case 2, printf 1, case 3, printf 0. So, here we have written 3 case labels and 1 default statement, and after each case, let us write break so that multiple statements will not be executed. If the case level is matching, then that particular setup statement is only executed. Okay. Now, let us save this program as switch1.c, switch case 1.c. Okay. Now, let us execute this program. So, here the value of I is equal to 3. Then what will happen? So, how it will match with the case levels and what is the output? So, you can see here the output is 0. Why? Because the value of I is 3. So, it is trying to match with the case labels. So, 1, 2, 3. So, there is a matching. Case level is found. So, it is printing 0. So, output of this program is 0. So, let us copy paste this output and keep it in your program. Right. So, this is the first simple program using switch case. Let us move on to the second program. Find the output of the code. Let us start with the structure of this C language, stdio.h, int main and return 0. Right. Now, let us take 2 integer variables, int I is equal to 1, comma j is equal to 2. Now, write a switch case statement, switch on I value. Now, in this, we'll write down two case statements. Case 1, printf, good. Then we'll write down a break statement. Next, case J will write, and printf, bad, and followed by a break statement. Okay. Now, let us see what will be the output of this code. Now here, I is equal to 1, j is equal to 2. We are switch case on, switch on I value. I value is 1. So it is matching with the case level 1. So it should print good. So let us check the output. Yes. So what is the error in this program? So one of the rules says that in switch case, that the case label must be a constant. It must be either an integer or any literal like a character constant. But here the case label j is a variable. So which is not allowed. So which is not reducing to an integer constant, you can see the error. So if you will change this j value to 2, this program will perfectly fine. It will be working fine. So whenever you are writing the case label, see that you are writing a constant expression. Either an integer constant or character constant is allowed. So please write it down properly. So here the variable j you cannot write as a case label. Okay. Next, we will move on to the third question. Find the output of the code. Hash include stdio.h, int main, and return 0. Right. Now here, what we will do, let us declare a float variable. Float x is equal to 1.1. Switch case, switch on x value. And inside this, let us write a case label 1.1. Printf, choice 1. Okay. And followed by a break statement. Similarly, let us write down a default case. Printf, choice is other than 1. Break. Now, what will be the output? Now, in this case, we have used a float variable and which is 1.1 and the case level is matching. But what will happen to the program? Now, you can see over here, switch quantity must be an integer. So, float values are not allowed to write in the case level. So, case level doesn't reduce to an integer constant. That's why this program will give you error. So, you can take as an integer, then it will work. So, hope it is understood that the float values are not allowed to write in the case levels. So, let us move on to the next question. Find the output of the code. Hash include stdio.h, int main, and return 0. So, structure of the C program we have written. Now, let us write down the program. Now, let us take one character constant, character ch is equal to b. Switch on ch, then followed by, let us write down different case. So, case A, okay, then let us write a printf statement over here. Excellent. Then followed by a break statement. Then I have written case B and printf, good, but no break statement. Case C, printf, better, no break statement. then followed by default printf, no other choice. Okay. Now let us see what will be the output of this code. Now in this case, we have written 3 cases and 1 default statement. Now your choice is CH is equal to B. So case level B is matching. So good should be printed. But other than good, what should be printed? Because we didn't use here a break statement. So here in this question, you need to understand, if you do not write a break statement, then what will be the output? You can see over here, when we didn't write the break statement, it has printed good, better and no other choice. That means it has executed not only the printf statement good, but better and no other choice is also displayed. Now, if I put here a break here, then what will happen? Now, if you will write down a break statement there, then good and better is coming, because after that there is a break statement. That's why if you will write here a break, then only good will be the output, because the control comes out of the switch case. So be careful while writing the switch case statement where you have to write break statement and how you should write. If you do not write a break statement, automatically the next statements will be executed. Now, let us move on to the next question. Find the output of the code. Hash include stdio.h int main and return 0. Let us take an integer variable p is equal to 3, comma, q is equal to 4, comma, r is equal to 5. Now, switch on p value. P value is 3. Now, let us write down the case labels. Case q minus 1 is printf p is equal to percentile d, comma, p value. Case r plus 3 printf r value is equal to percentile d, comma, r value, and there is a break after this, and let us write down a default one. Default printf y. Okay. Now we have written the case statement. Let us save this file. Okay. What is the value of p? P is equal to 3. So what is the value of q? Q is equal to 4. So 4 minus 1. The expressions you can write in a switch case. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So it is matching with the case level, matching with the p value. So if it is matching with the p value, then p value should be printed. So 3 should be printed. But after that, there is no break statement. So automatically it will execute the next printf statement, and r value will also be displayed. Now let us see what is the output. Let us run this program and check the output. Now you can see over here, the case value doesn't reduce to an integer constant. So 4 minus 1 is 3, but it is not allowed to write in this way. So let us try in some other way. So instead of, because q is a variable, that's why it is not allowed. Okay. So if you want that, case 3 should be, if I'll write 1 plus 2 as an expression, then it will allow. But r plus 3, it will not allow. So let us check it. So you can see in the next statement, again the case statement is not reducing to an integer constant, because r is a variable over here. So if you will change this to some 1 plus 3, okay, then now it will allow you. So you can see here, the p value is 3, it is displaying, and r value is 5, because after first case level, there is no break statement. That's why now it is displaying 3 and 5. After that, there is a break statement. If I'll remove this also break, then what value will be displayed? It will display 3, 5 and pi. All the three statements it will execute by default. But if you will put a break statement after the first matching case level, then what will happen? It will exactly print p is equal to 3. So you have to be careful that how your switch case is executing. So please avoid that. Do not write any variables or any expression containing variables in the switch case. So which will not reduce to an integer. That you have to be careful. Now let us move on to the next question. Find the output of the code. Hash include stdio.h, int main and return 0. After writing the structure of the C program, let us declare one variable, integer variable, int I is equal to 421, for example. Then switch on I value. Write down a case 420. Okay. Now in that there is a if condition. If I double equals to 400, I double equals to 400, then you can write a group of statements. Inside this you have another case level, case 421, then printf hello switch. There is some statement called hello switch is inside. And after this you have break statement. Now there is one more case statement 422, printf, then by switch. Okay. Now if you will run this program, then what will be the output? Let us first save it. So we have saved it as a .c file. Then let us interpret what will be the output. I value is 421. So case level 420 is not matching. Okay. Then what will be the output? In this case, can you see over here? Case level 420. If I is equal to 420, so can you see over here that hello switch is the output over here. Now, if I is equal to 400, that is false. That means this case level is not inside. So it is outside. So hello, though the brackets are given to confuse, so this case level is not inside it. Okay, that means it will execute the next case level, that is 421. That's why hello switch is the output. So check that. This way also it can be written. Now let us move on to the next question. Find the output of the code. Hash include stdio.h, int main and return 0. Now let us take a float variable. Float x is equal to 3.5. Switch on x value. X is a float variable. Then write down the case levels as 3.1. Then printf a. Case 3.2. Then printf b. Case 3.5, printf C. Okay, there is no default statement, there is no break statement here in this case. Let us execute this. Now, when you execute this, you are getting error. Why? Because the switch quantity is not an integer. So, you can have different kinds of problems where you can check that the case label must be an integer quantity. Okay, so character constants and integer constants are allowed, but float constants are not allowed. So this is what you need to understand over here. Now let us move on to the next problem. Find the output of the code. Hash include stdio.h int main and return 0. Right. Now let us declare some integer variable int I, j, k is equal to 0 here. Now let us write down one expression for j. J is equal to 2 star 3 by 4 plus 2.0 by 5 plus 8 by 5. So j contains one mathematical expression and k minus is equal to minus j value. Okay. Now let us first check what is the value of j and k. So printf percentile d, print the value of j and k. Now let us save this program and run it first. So you can see over here the value of j is equal to 1 and k is equal to minus 1. Okay. Please remember j, k values are 1 and minus 1. 1 and minus 1 we got. Now let us write down a loop. For I is equal to 0, I less than equals to 5, then I plus plus. Write down a switch case, switch I plus k. Now case 1, we didn't write anything. Next write down case 2 is printf percentile d slash n comma I plus k value. And case 3 is another printf statement percentile d slash n comma I plus k value only. And there is a default statement which contains printf percentile d slash n comma I plus k only. Right. Now what will be the output of this code? So first let us save it again. Okay. Now what is the value of I? I is equal to 0, I less than equal to 5. So this loop is going to run from 0 to 5. 6 times it is going to run. First time, what is the value of I and k? I is equal to 0 and we got k is equal to minus 1. I is equal to 0, k is equal to minus 1. So I plus k becomes minus 1 and case 1, 2, 3 are not matching. So it will display the value of I plus k, which is nothing but minus 1. You will get it. Next time I value becomes 1, k value is minus 1. So again it is 0. So it will go to the default statement and I plus k value, it is 1 minus 1 which is 0, it will display. Similarly, next it will go for I for 2, I equals to 2 where k is minus 1 only. So case 1 is matching. So nothing is there to display. Okay. But automatically it will execute case 2 and 3. Okay. Case 2 and 3 it will execute. So like that it will run. So let us see what is the output. So let me write here a slash n so that it will be easier for you. So let us write down a printf statement to understand it better. So let us write down switch case values in loop. Okay. And write down a new line character both sides. Yes. Now let us run it. So when you run it, first j and k values are 1 and minus 1. Then followed by first time it was minus 1, then 0. You can see here because there is no break statement, these statements are executing multiple times. So to avoid this, what you will do, we'll put here break statements. We'll put here break statement. Here also in case 1 nothing is there, so we'll break it. Now you will see what will be the output. Now you just observe that the output is -1, then 0, then 2, then 3 and 4. Okay. So this way you can customize your program that what kind of output you need. Now this is about the switch case statement. Now after understanding the switch case statement, let us go for some if-else statements in C language. So question is, find the output of the code. Hash include stdio.h int main and return 0. Now if you will write a if statement like this, that printf Rama is greater than printf Sai, let us write in double quotes, Sai, and then, so here bracket must be closed, then there is an extra bracket, let us remove, then is it greater than printf Sita. Okay. Then if this condition is true, then write down printf true. Otherwise, write down printf false in the else part. Now what will be the output of this code? So first let us save this program. Now, what the printf statement returns? Printf statements returns the length of the string it has printed. So printf Rama will print Rama and it will return the length of the string as 4. So 4 is greater than Sai is 3. 4 is greater than 3? Yes, it is true. If it is true, then it is 1. Then printf Sita will be printed and it will return 4. Sita, the length of the string is 4. So 1 is greater than 4? No, it is false. So let us check what is the output. So you can see here Rama, Sai, Sita and false. You are getting the outputs as like this. Okay. So if you want, you can give a slash in here. Because it evaluates like this. Rama's, the length of this string is 4. So Rama will be printed, it will return 4. 4 is greater than. Sai will be printed, length of this string is 3. 4 is greater than 3. Yes, then it returns 1. That is true. 1. 1 is greater than. Sita will be printed, then it returns 4. 1 is greater than 4. No, it is false. So finally the if condition is false and it will go to the else part and it will print false. So you can see the output Rama, Sai, Sita, then false. Now let us write down a similar question. So let us copy paste this output and go for find the output of the code. Let us modify this program little bit. Suppose I am writing printf Rama plus 4. Similarly, Sai plus 3 and printf Sita plus 4. Okay. So I have just written the positional index positions. So if you will save this program and run it, then what will be the output? So you can see over here, the output is only false. Okay. So fourth index, which character is there? 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will read the string from fourth index. Nothing is there. So Rama will not come in the output. Because in the printf we are saying that print the character which is there at the fourth index in Rama. So as the index number starts with 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So at fourth index no character is there. So nothing is printed. Similarly Sai 0, 1, 2 index number. So index number 3 nothing is there. Similarly in Sita index number 4 nothing is there. That's why none of these strings will be displayed on the screen. So the if condition is false, so it will print false. So you have to check these differences. Now if I will change this to 3 and also this to 3 and this to 2, then there is a difference in the output. Okay. So which character is there at third index, that is A? Which character is there at the second index, that is I? Then which character is there at third index, that is A? So what will be the output? So you can see here AIA, fourth index of Rama, second index of Sai, and third index of Rama and Sita, and second index of Sai is displayed. So AIA, the characters you are getting. Okay. But is it greater than 1? No. So it is false. If condition is false, that's why we are getting the output as false. So this is the way you need to understand the if conditions. In this video, we understood how to write switch case statement, and we have executed a number of problems using switch case statement in C language. Thank you so much.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.